You ever see four grown men in black polo shirts get baptized by a 70 psi blast of pond water at sunrise? No. Well, grab a chair, because it's the funniest thing you'll hear all week, and the messiest. These guys hopped my fence, all tactical and self-important, only to meet the business end of my irrigation system, a manure spreader on biblical, and one ticked-off gander named Maurice, who's got more fight in him than a junkyard dog with a caffeine habit. By the time they hit the gravel, their sunglasses were gone, their HOA handbook was dripping like a swamp, and the tallest one was threatening to call the HOA like it was some magic word to ward off angry geese and 70-year-old farm boys. Yeah, that happened. One guy was losing his mind over a ruined phone, another was halfway up the fence with Maurice in hot pursuit, and the last one, he just sat down in the mud and stared off like he'd made some questionable life decisions. That's where I come in. Nolan Pike, 58, 3 grandkids, one stubborn farm just outside Juniper Creek, and more patience for tomatoes than for suburban nonsense. After my wife passed, this little 8-acre patch became my anchor, my therapy, my reminder that something solid still exists in the world. But then came Cedar Hollow Estates. You know the type, a shiny new subdivision popping up like mushrooms after rain, full of folks who think riding a zero-turn mower makes them a rancher. Leading the charge was Evelyn Sharp, HOA president, queen of the I brought bylaws, and I'm not afraid to use them crowd. I swear this woman wore a blazer in July, and her smile could curdle milk. Nails, hair, everything perfect except for her attitude, which could fill a stadium. She took one look at my red barn and crowing rooster and declared my place an eyesore, killing her property values. That's HOA speak for I don't like things I can't control. Evelyn went full campaign mode. I'm talking citations duct taped to my mailbox, illegal, by the way. Spam emails at all hours, sometimes 3 before breakfast. One at 2 a.m. was titled Urgent Compliance Notice, like my tomatoes were a threat to national security. She sent out flyers about repainting my barn Cedar Hollow sandstone beige. Whatever color that is, it ain't in nature. Next thing, she's flying a drone over my beehives, snapping photos for the neighborhood app, calling my chickens a biohazard. She even started a petition to have the county rezone my land, 37 signatures, not one from anyone who's ever seen a sunrise, let alone a chicken. But that wasn't enough for Evelyn. She sent 2 compliance contractors in a white SUV snapping photos and measuring fence lines like they were fixing to subdivide my soul. My neighbor called to warn me, bless her. Week later, I get a letter certified and all claiming I'm racking up $250 a day in fines unless I cease livestock operations. The letterhead, fake. The signature, some made-up county enforcement officer. I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee, then called the county clerk, who laughed even harder. Nolan, she said, your land's been agricultural since Eisenhower. Turns out Evelyn's got a history of trying to strong-arm people who won't bend. But here's where it gets wild. Evelyn hosts a security meeting, hires 4 ex-cops in tactical vests to remediate my property. Her words, not mine. Paid them $3,000 up front. At 5:45 a.m., those 4 geniuses cut my back gate with bolt cutters and started zip-tying orange abatement tags to my apple trees. One kicked over a hose, another dumped Maurice's kiddie pool. That goose made his war cry right then and there. And me, I'm sipping coffee, checking the security cam app, grinning like a kid with a squirt gun. See, I don't go full Clint Eastwood. I go full farm grandpa. Hit the valve on my reclaimed water whistle for the geese and flip the switch on my solar-powered electric fence, totally legal low voltage, and posted every 10 feet with caution electric fence in neon yellow, big enough even for folks who failed Mall Cop 101. Those guys slipped in the mud, one backed their SUV right into my culvert and got stuck like a tick on a hound. Maurice and his gang had them cornered, honking like car alarms at a demolition derby. One dude climbed the roof of the SUV, another tried to shield himself with the abatement sign. I've seen better tactics from my grandson chasing a chicken, so I called the sheriff, the ag commissioner, and because I keep receipts, the state attorney general's office. Deputies showed up while I'm setting lawn chairs on the porch pouring coffee. Those contractors stood there soaking and shivering, trying to explain HOA law to a deputy who was clearly just waiting for the punchline. Evelyn rolled in wearing pearls, like she was headed to Sunday brunch. The deputy pointed to my parcel map and said deadpan, "Ma'am, your authority stops at that fence line." Turns out her contractors weren't even licensed. Their badges looked like they were printed on a kid's inkjet. The sheriff cited them all for trespassing, tampering, and driving an unregistered utility vehicle on private land. The Ag Commissioner, no-nonsense gal named Patricia, who loves bees more than people, wrote up Evelyn for harassing livestock and interfering with pollinators. Yes, there's a statute for that, and Evelyn got educated right quick. I slapped her with a restraining order, filed for an injunction, and sued for damages, busted gates, stressed animals, the works. My lawyers, Rico Cabrera, neighbor, and alpaca wrangler, 3 properties over, and a terror in court when riled up. Rico rolled into court 2 weeks later with drone footage, GPS-tagged photos, time-stamped recordings, and a nice stack of HOA flyers, all with the wrong parcel number. Evelyn tried her best waving photos, ranting about visual pollution and agro-industrial blight, even claiming my farm lowered the neighborhood IQ. The judge, a farm girl herself, leaned forward and asked Miss Sharp, "Where in your bylaws does it say you control land outside Cedar Hollow?" Dead silence. Evelyn opened her mouth, closed it, then stared at her lawyer, who was busy studying the floor. "Rico, bless him," read the zoning code in his best Sunday voice. Then we played the deputy's body cam crystal clear audio of Evelyn telling her squad to tag every non-compliant tree and make sure I understand we're serious. The judge didn't even crack a smile. Permanent injunction. The HOA can't enforce a thing on my land, and if they try, they're looking at civil penalties. Full restitution for property damage, gate culvert vet bills for Maurice, who sulked for 3 days, and legal fees, which stacked up to $18,000. Best part. The judge made the HOA send a certified letter to every homeowner, post it on the website, and publish in the newspaper that my farm was 100% lawful and that harassing farmers was a crime in this state. All on the HOA's dime. Oh, and I got a new 8-foot fence, more security cameras, and glowing no trespassing signs that light up like runway markers. HOA dues went up $300 per house to cover it all, which made Evelyn about as popular as poison ivy in a picnic basket. Insurance company wouldn't cover her mess. Meanwhile, those so-called contractors turned state's witness, turned over all their texts. Evelyn told them, "Do whatever it takes, I'll handle the legal stuff." Turns out she's looking at criminal charges herself. Conspiracy to trespass, filing false reports, the works. Judge looked over her glasses and said, "Miss Sharp, your inability to understand property boundaries has cost your community tens of thousands of dollars. You're removed from the HOA board, barred from holding any position for 5 years, and you owe Mr. Pike a personal apology, court approved and published. Total judgment, $87,412 against the HOA, $22,000 against Evelyn personally." Evelyn's face cycled through every color tomatoes come in. She was shaking hands, clutching the table lawyer at her side, while folks in the gallery whipped out phones, already doing the math on what $300 in extra dues meant for their pool fund. Her reign of bylaw terror ended not with a gavel, but with the kind of public humiliation that's going to follow her name through every Nextdoor app for decades. Someone in the back whispered, "Well, there goes the community pool fund," and I swear the whole courtroom tried not to laugh. So here's the real question. Where do you draw the line between standing up for your land and letting bullies win? When does community become control? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me if you've tangled with an HOA or had to stand up for your own little piece of the world. And hey, if you enjoyed the story, hit that like, share your own war stories, and subscribe for more real-life drama from America's back roads. Because justice isn't just about the law. It's about folks willing to get their hands dirty. You know what I mean?